Supers to dodge away from some of these tools. The Jace, though, I'm a little bit unsure about here. They end up going for the Cassante, who can kind of contribute in terms of this dive-focused composition of DN Supers, and that is very much what they have prescribed to, is we are going to jump onto your backliners and kill them. Good luck stopping.
There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe in the DN Supers? Maybe 21 games in a row is a bridge too far.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. The DN Supers fan
Got that first dragon. No, got the dragon, got the grubs. Really just allows DNS to keep playing these lanes out as they are and be comfortable. Oh, they're looking for a play.
Yep, in they go. Pays in a lot of trouble. The bouncing bomb is going to connect. It's a decent encore there, though, as now Life in a bit of trouble. And down will go Pyoshik, down will go Life. There goes the perfect game, and maybe the advantages that DNS had built up for themselves.
A bit of a heavy force there onto Pays. Pays with no flash available. They think he's an easy target to take down. But Doctam didn't have ult.
Does feel like the Hex Optics build is pretty powerful. As Carrier and Ona moving up towards his top side. Charm connects onto Life, who is just dead. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing he can do about that one. Great pick here from T1. We're really coming alive here in the mid game, as Closer also in a little bit of trouble as well. Rebinds the soul as he ults away to relative safety. That was a very cute arrow.
Like he's made of paper.
Yeah. Well, flanking teleports come through from Doran here, as we also have the Cassante making his way in. Dudu right into that front line, as that is going to be the secure on the Rift Herald. Ona gets that Crescent Guard out, as now Doctom's in trouble. Doran just dives on top of him, Life dead once again, as Doctom uses the Mega Cone in order to get himself to relative safety, but Faker is able to get over the wall and knock him down. The Dusante trying to cut up Pays, but he gets knocked up and taken out as Faker grabs the double. Now on a killing spree here in this happy birthday game for Faker. And Closer doing the best that he can, as the flash still gets him hit by the arrow, and the charm is going to come on in. Faker might be able to get another one, as another Fate Sealed has to be used defensively, as Closer does get himself out at least. But Doran now going to deal with this outer turret, and wow, from a really nice looking early game to absolute obliteration from about 10 minutes onwards. T1 in full control. Owner just going to flash on top of Pyoshik here. This one feels personal.
Yeah.
Throws out an arrow in celebration. Sort of like fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't really do a whole lot of everything, as in goes Life, finally presses that ulti button. Pyoshik tries his hand at pressing R, but he will just be escorted to the death chamber. Pathmaker from Dudu, but he gets charmed up, and Closer trying to escape. Fake is going to allow him to also via the death chamber, and they will just execute 4 people in a row.
The turnaround potential from T1 in this situation. The target goes in, they kill him, they move forward, the Ari resets, so powerful. The encore as well from the Seraphim, the ult funneling in, 1,000 Baron power play coming through, so pretty high value there.
Yeah, they've just kind of taken everything that they've wanted to take, and there hasn't been too much of a response. It's now Pyoshik. He has been charmed as he makes his way in, but that is still going to be the Fate Sealed of the GOAT in the mid lane. Closer going to be able to lock that one down. Life will die as tribute. As Doran finds it with a Shock Blast. Pretty cute. So a 1-for-1 trade. But probably still worth it here for DNS, as Faker worth a little bit more than Life right now. The 1-in-5 Camille. There's a nice satchel there to make sure that Ona does get himself out, as the Encore flies on through. Doesn't exactly find the joy onto Doctam, as Ona was really forcing that one, but it is actually going to work out. Megacone gets Closer to safety, and T1 will just walk past DNS and take down this inhibitor turret. With Doctam dead, that is so much of the wave clear missing, and they should just be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, DNS find a good pick on a Faker, but T1 really make them pay for it and find multiple kills in the aftermath. And now DNS with the base kind of in shambles, but just chases down the Ziggs.
Yeah, almost was in extension range here, as Life may be dead one more time. By maybe, I mean he was definitely dead, but I wanted to give him a bit of benefit of the doubt this time around. It's not really his fault, it's just kind of what it's like to be a Camille from behind. As Ona going in, There is still a turret there towards that top side. Is now Faker looking for the angle. Will help Ona grab that kill onto the Cassante. Is now Crescent Guard coming on through. Ona is so annoyed by how this early game went. It's what it looks like here is another Shock Blast. Will put down Pyosik this time. They weren't able to get in front of Closer though. So the Fate Sealed gets him back to the fountain. But Ona is still getting over there. And they do manage to at least get something done. That Mega Inferno Bomb just hitting absolutely nothing at all. As Wind becomes lightning, Ona becomes dead, but so does the Nexus. And T1 will be able to clobber them in the end. 25 minutes on the clock. And they'll get some celebratory kills before they take down this Nexus. First one since Faker turned 30 and he picks up the W.
Absolute decimation. Clean game from T1, other than a couple of picks here and there. But it just felt like DNS never really found a way to make the comp.
At least that would be my expectation.
Seems pretty expected. I do like the Renekton into these sort of dive-focused compositions, because when you're going forward, targeting the carries, the Renekton just existing can be such a problem. The amount of damage he does to anyone diving in, especially when you have champions like Akali and Nocturne who aren't the tankiest. The Dominus and just his AoE is such a problem to deal with. We've also seen, even though Nara is consistently picked into Renekton, and honestly does pretty well in terms of the game, the laning phase, we've been seeing our Renektons do better and better in the early levels and have more and more pressure, so...
They are going to be so fine moving into the later stages. The DN Supers feeling like they need to get their ducks in a row early. Let's get into it. Game number 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift 4, the second game of this series. The DN Supers just wanting to not lose 22 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's 21 right now.
And you know, honestly, with the matchups, obviously game 1, it was...
for buttons being pressed there as Paze throws a boomerang sideways and does some weird stuff as Carrier is just going to walk towards Docdom, and they're going to look for the kill, and it's just going to happen. Oh my goodness, that was the real Nico. That was a little bit of the smoke and mirrors that Carrier is known for.
Life has heal.
Well,
try and pick that one up for free.
Yeah, just walks on over and starts hitting it. It is a Mountain Drake, so it's going to take a bit of time. But we'll see how he is going to do, getting through that one. Dudu, yeah, throws a rock at the cannon. We'll be able to lock that one down as Closer is going to come on over and help his Nocturne out. As Life coming on in as well, but Owner is going to come down. And let's see whether this turn is going to be effective as Pyosik in a fair bit of trouble here. And that is the steal on the Dragon as well. The Pyosik took about a year to try and take down. Carrier going with some of the funny businesses. Now Faker with a dissonance will be able to take down Life. And now it is 3-0. And the DN Supers haven't got anything yet.
Yeah, this one kind of... You know, credit to T1, of course, for going for this play for the punish, landing these roots, consistently landing this damage, and kind of showing why Nico was such a feared pick, and at times was getting first rotation banned.
It was something that Carrier was also at the forefront of when Nico was having a heyday.
Yeah. So, definitely playing the champion extremely well in this situation. And Duran has his flashback up after that early mishap, so... Now I'm going to look to set up a play here. Life is going to find Owner or be found himself.
Yeah, he's just going to find himself with not a whole lot of his health bar as Dudu needs to come on over and allow a battle dance, but it's not going to work. The spear just pierces through the Rakan. And Owner doesn't have Cataclysm anymore, but will be still able to get the flash out from Dudu. Now they will just reap the rewards of all of these plates. The minions will just perish as well underneath this turret. And the good news still not here. Finally, we do have Pyosik pressing that R button. We'll get the flash out from Paze, who just runs his way out of there. Curtains have been called. It's Paze just trying to get himself out. Does get the heal and avoids all of those bullets.
Yeah, able to dodge away there. Just have to burn both summoners. A while ago, they did start the game with it, but it quickly disappeared. T1 have maintained it though.
They have.
Impressively enough.
We're moving towards 10 minutes in this game as well. There has been one plate that DNS has been able to pick up. Pop Blossom on top of Docdom here. As Carrier just walking up to 2 people and feeling pretty happy about it.
Yeah, Doctor doesn't flash there because there's no follow-up, no one with Carrier to threaten, but nearly goes down to Carrier himself, and Carrier playing so aggressively here.
Look at him go. Oh my. If he had have stopped that recall as well, I would have called for a pause.
I would
just don't think it's very fair.
Jin has disconnected from the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now Ona try to go for this play before onto the Gnar, but found a Rakan instead. This time, we'll find the Gnar.
Yep, there's the stun. Dominus comes through, and the Cataclysm, like every button's pressed, and down will go the mini Gnar. Nothing that Dudu can do there. So we will have a look at Ona versus Pyosik. Yeah, Ona certainly getting a whole lot more done in this early game.
So maybe you try and kill the Sivir, but the longer you wait, the further this game is... Oh no.
Oh dear. Shockwave is going to get spell shielded by Pyosik, but life is just dead. Closer looking for a bit of an angle here, but Pyosik's just looking to escape. The DN Supers just can find nothing in this game. Carrier, another phenomenal snare. There is the Twilight Shroud, so Closer will keep himself alive, but I mean, it's defense at best. It's now 2 plates.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like 0 is 0.
Hey, that means it's also quadrupled, if that's what you want to talk about, as now in goes Closer, looking for a bit of an angle here. The all-in onto Faker, as Faker will at least flash away, and the backflip doesn't land, and Faker will stay alive. That is everything invested there for Closer. Like, they could have used a Battle Herald, but there was just no real battle to be had, so Shelly is just going to wander down this mid lane. And we're setting up a siege with a Sivir, and it's working. As they do pilot Shelly forward. That is going to be Ona going a little deep, but there's Carrier finding the Pop Blossom into the Shockwave, and it eliminates everyone. Pyosik trying to get something done. Dudu there as well, but Closer is likely to die. Faker with a big old shield keeping himself alive, and Dudu is going to die as a result. They're going to break the base at 18.5 minutes. Oh my goodness, just give Carrier the palm.
Ona starts a fight, but Carrier just slides in and gets the Shockwave combo.
Turned it into a gun, so we just kind of know where it goes when it comes to a gun. Don't really need to talk about it. As Doctor is going to be heading towards the Death Chamber, perhaps, as Ona goes in once again. Life with the defense. Oh dear.
I feel like this often happens where when you're so far behind, the Rakan goes in and it's like, please someone help me get out, and no one wants to walk near.
Nope.
So he just dies. Life.
Well, here's the re-engage. All right, Pop Blossom used defensively here, but Carrier will be taken out. The curtains have been called. The T1 are just going to wait it out, and they will lose their 3rd champion of the game. Oh, Carrier's going back to his people. He's going back to his people. Go. There we go.
Wait, he's trying to line up. He's trying to line up.
There we go.
Wait, is that
Spaghetti Code?
Is that a visual bug?
Spaghetti Code? All right, he finds the Pop Blossom onto 3. Oh no, it worked, ladies and gentlemen. He will get taken out. But still, 2 on the floor here for the DN Supers as Doran dashing around like a maniac. Will get... Okay, Cataclysm comes through, and down will go Closer. That will be the final kill in this fight. I cannot believe that worked!
I can just imagine the comms in that moment. Hey guys, have you seen this Grump?
Yeah,
really funny looking.
So at least we do have the fun little moment in the game that it's been over for about, maybe like an hour. It's all right. Faker with the dissonance will be able to take down Dudu here. As now Closer looking for a bit of an angle. It's the Pop Blossom onto Pyosik though, who just doesn't really have a way out. He tries to turn off the lights, but it's his lights that do go out in the end. And now we'll have T1 marching towards the enemy nexus. Bit of fun towards the end there, but honestly, this was utter demolition. Back-to-back games here for T1, continuing their warpath here in the LCK, really tidying up the play from earlier stages. Obviously, they did lose that game against HLE, but it was pretty close. And I imagine they'll be meeting each other in the Legend group as well. Happy birthday also to Faker, who did turn 30 yesterday. We'll be able to celebrate with a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, pretty crushing win from T1 in this one. No shenanigans really going on other than the little Gromp adventure we got from Carrier. Just kind of showing the form that this T1 is
He is going to lock that in, but still a chance that TF is in the top lane. And besides the TF ult, I mean, you have Ash Arrow. Crescent Guard's pretty good. Wild Growth can be kind of obnoxious. Looking for the Yorick here.
Okay, so they keep the TF in the mid lane, put the Yorick up to the top lane against the Rumble. A lot of control from T1 in terms of the stun cards, the Ash Arrow. But I feel like the team fight from D+ is just so explosive. They can get on this back.
Here for game number 1. As we are ready, let's hop onto the Rift.
소환사의 협곡에 미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Alrighty, game number 1. As we're getting ready for DK versus T1. And Showmaker already bringing out a pretty interesting pick. You know, nowadays it feels like the mid-meta, you know, you've seen some counter picks with the Nivea to Rise, Cassiopeia to Rise and stuff like that, but it's been a lot of Annie, a lot of Aurora.
I mean, it does look with that skin like she is on fire. So, fitting, but... Oh, heavy trade coming in.
Yeah, Arrow's going to be picked up here. As Smash going to cleanse, but he's still slowed up. Has to flash away. Pays autoing Career, though. Tons of damage comes in. I feel like he could have gotten that kill if he just auto smash.
Yeah.
It's still a good trade here for T1's bottom lane.
Yeah, put that extra order into Career. I think you can kind of keep them at a distance with. They did that for that second dragon. They did that for that Herald to great effect. Now
Oh, the arrow.
Arrow.
Oh! Showmaker on the ball here.
Yeah, does have the Merc treads, so maybe could have lived even if it did hit, but would not be a fun time.
Doran trying to back on a ward here. He's going to find himself face-to-face with a pillar. He's trying to get back to his ghoulie wall. Has a TP from his teammate Faker coming on up. Bit of damage is done to Showmaker here as now the Destiny follow-up is going to come in from Faker after the TP. And they're just chasing them all the way down the lane. Lucid, nowhere to go, gets flashed on. Has to flash away, but the slow comes in. And the flash gold card is there. It's 2 kills for T1 in the top lane.
T-Plus go for the aggressive play, but just don't really have the damage to cut through Doran at this point. He is pretty bulky, and T1 make them pay for it. They do lose out on the...
You have this Drake coming up in 40 seconds.
Going to the Drake fight, I think, wants to get a bit of a higher value team fight ultimate. So, T-Plus pushed in.
So you're going to face check Doran here, that ghoulie wall, a little bit short. The equalizer as well, not going to last very long. And Shoes is being out-traded here as the maiden and the ghoul smacks him in the back and takes him down. Doran here as well. The Crescent Guard saves his life. And Doran picks up the double kill. He's 4-0 right now. As a TP comes in, Showmaker gets hit by an arrow, and it's just disaster after disaster for DK. As T1, they call the bluff, and they win the fight in a big way.
D-Plus just getting crushed on these topside plays. Doran is so strong right now on this Yorick. Just, Shibu cannot handle him, and as soon as Maker up against Doran, but he's
2 on Baron.
He's 3 levels down, by the way.
Yeah. And he currently doesn't have an ult as well.
Now he's 2 levels down, but they just started the Baron. Lucid does have flash, so can get into the pit if he wants to.
And they're just going to turn onto him, and immediately Lucid is in a very precarious spot. Does get that subjugate down, but now Career gets hit by the arrow, and he is dead. There's the Wild Growth on a 3. The Zoner knows he's got the backup from Keria. And that's just 2 free kills. T1 with their T1 Baron plays. They don't need to actually take the Baron. They just get another big gold lead off of that play.
The turn was so good from T1. They had the setup, they had the CC. They
on top of that. As now Lucid's like, surely I can take out this ward. I'm not so sure about that, as the stolen Ash Arrow going to delay them, but Lucid gets caught up in the wall, and even with the subjugate, just kind of falls over.
You take a step too far in your own jungle, and you're just dead. You just get jumped on, Faker turns up, feels like the whole squad's there, and Lucid goes down. Now Doran looking.
Doran is going crazy right now. He's got the backup with the Wild Growth, takes a huge amount of damage from the Rumble, and he stays alive for so long. And he doesn't care that he's dead. The rest of the team is following up. Nice help from Career, but it's too little, and it's way too late. As T1 are just kind of styling on them in their own base.
T1 definitely could have slow played this, but they opted just burst down the enemy AD carry in this situation and to play the game a lot faster paced. D-Plus now only have the support alive. Lucid's going to respawn, but I'm not sure there's much he can do.
Yeah, it's just a Trundle without an ult, without a flash. I mean, they don't even have to kill him. They could just hit the Nexus, but They are going to do a bit more damage, pump those numbers up just a little bit, but it is a clean and dominant game one here from T1. From the draft to the gameplay, they were in control the whole way.
I think D+ needed a bit more reliable engage threats to get onto the likes of the TF and the Ash Pong. I think he kind of has free reign in this situation. I feel like a lot of our top laners would just pick a Renekton here, and that would be kind of the standard. But instead, going for the Ambessa, and there's a lot of dive threat in this T1 composition, playing into a short-ranged AD carry. And I know there's obviously the cleanse from the Milio, which is going to work against the Anivia, the Nico, but it's not going to do anything against the Vi Ambessa. So I think it's going to be Milio could struggle.
Now let's jump out of the rift for game number 2. All right, here we go. Match 59 and then match 60 later on today will be the home front for Kium DRX up against Homolife Esports, the second match over there in Vietnam.
But she was just doing a good job of soaking up the damage, being ready with the shield, and able to turn the trade around.
Lucid not very much enjoying the
cancel.
Anivia, but that's going to be the Storm coming in, and now Faker is going for a bit of a walk here in the enemy jungle.
He's not where he wants to be.
Yeah, also Anivia doesn't walk, Valdez. That was stupid. Faker flapping his wings, flying through the enemy jungle. Still flying through the enemy base.
He's wasting a lot of time.
He's getting to owner.
Yeah.
I think he lives.
There's no ult from Shiwu. Recall here. Oh, he
Lucid!
Might... Oh, no.
No! There's a Vi there.
Faker had no mana after that, so...
Meanwhile, Shiyu is here. It's going to be the smash that does come down onto owner. And back is coming in from Faker. He is going to go into egg for sure. And I think even after all the shenanigans, the Anivia Faker will not survive. First blood does go over to Lucid after whatever that was.
That was a very extended passage of play. And Showmaker pulling ahead in the lane as well because he, you know, was just mid-farming in comparison. But a big chase that does eventually get rewarded with not only the kill on Faker, but the egg. He does.
This seems very aggressive from the side of T1. I'm not sure if you get away with this, but they are going to find Career, who is now basically not a champion owner. Going to get the Rift Herald kill. Did not get the eye just yet. Shiu trying to frontline here. It looks like T1, they're just going to not get the eye.
They can't approach. And Shiwu is so tanky already. Oh, Doran's going for it.
Yeah, and he might just be able to dash his way in, and one more dash, there it is. Picks it up, uses it immediately, trying to get into the action Herald. It's going to miss the ult, but now Lucid in an awkward spot, and both the junglers are going to hit the ground. Storin is going to hop into this one, but now Smash going to get knocked up by the Rift Herald, who is just spinning around and getting so much value on those knockups. It's insane. And the Ambessa is running wild in the back line. As Showmaker now all alone, trying to just poke out Pace and Keria. And even Doran now getting pretty low. Shiu at least able to get that kill, but a stun lands on a Showmaker. And the engage code comes out from Nico from Keria. And it's going to turn it in favor of T1.
T1 just pulling magic out of nowhere with that team fight that honestly it felt like they had no right really to win. Down a lot of Smash will be pretty close to having them capped out.
Yeah. And we're really just doing a lot of posturing here for this Chemtech Soul as we're flashing right onto Smash. The follow-up is there from the side of Keria, but where's the damage? As finally a bit comes out from the side of Faker, and Lucid takes an E to the back. As Doran gets in front of that, and also there's the Anivia wall, so she was like, man, why am I playing Sion? The public execution does come in, and Shiu is taking a beating, but that is just a Sion. Showmaker trying to make a big difference here, but he's kind of all alone in terms of damage, and he just explodes in under a second. And the damage out of Paze right now is insane. Gonna pick up another one. A zombie Sion can do all he wants, but it's just gonna be T1 winning the fight, and they get the Chemtech Soul.
And this is why T1 went for this sort of composition. Oh no, he might be his old team.
Yeah, his old team. he has so much of the onus to try to carry this game and try to survive. He is going to get flanked and ultimate blown up immediately from 60% health. And just like that, I mean, Showmaker's also low. Like, you just can't do anything. Doran has a gigantic shield from the TP, and I don't think they're even going to get through that. I just don't see it happening. As the flash comes in, Showmaker able to rocket belt over the right side, and that at least is going to get him to safety, but it just feels like DK don't have an answer. They're not even that far behind on gold. It just doesn't matter.
The setups from T1, the target selection onto Smash, doesn't get to play the game, doesn't get to press his summoners, just gets exploded. And you lose that illusion. That, honestly, very illusion. Lucian. 4 items, you just don't get to play the game. Showmaker can't do enough. He is fed, he is strong in his own rights, but can he kill 5 members of T1? Including this incredibly hard to deal with Ambessa. I feel like they had the presence they needed, and they've just been pushed out again really quickly. They can't give this up though, they need to push back in. Both top laners have TP and the ability to rejoin once they respawn. But that Elder Dragon is being cut down quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get in here. Lucid, he looks like he is going to be the one that goes in, but the turn comes out from Keria. They ult on a smash, and again, he just dies, trades his life for the Nico, and the damage is just way too much out of Pays. Goes forward after Lucid goes in, and is just able to clean everybody up. Gonna get the GA out of Lucid, and both the carries are down. So at the end of the day, Shu is just left by his lonesome. It'll take a while to go down, but T1 will clean up the fight and look to push to end.
You know, I feel like the highlight of this series has been Doran, but the coordinated engages from Keria and Ona have just kind of been spectacular. Ona, who, you know, his KDA wasn't looking so pretty before, but he's doing his job every time. It's like Ona engages and Keria's there to follow, or Keria engages and Ona's there to follow, and the end result is Smash doesn't get to play the game.
Yeah, Lucid trying to clear the wave. He actually does do a good job of that, but he is, of course, going to die. And there was one cannon minion, actually, that did survive, so not the best job he could have done, I suppose. As Faker is going to zone away Smash. Smash hops over the wall, and they will just attack the Nexus and take it down. It's a clean 2-0 from T1 tonight as they get revenge against D+ Kia.